What's up, everybody? I'm Vortak, back again in Minecraft 1.16, where today we're taking a look at the Dimensional Storage mod, or DimStorage for short. Check it out in the link below. It's a 1.16 mod that's going to be really helpful to you, and I highly recommend it. So I have a few things with me to show you, including some dimensional chests, and also some dimensional tanks as well. As you would assume, the word dimensional does in fact mean this works across dimensions. We can check it out in the Nether a little bit later. Let's open this up and check out the config. So basically the way this works by default is the owner is set to public, but if you click on it, your name will appear. So you can switch between you and public. And there's also a frequency here as well, which I'll show you, well, right now. So let me go to this one and also set it to me. You'll notice the light at the top changed, and when I open one, they both open. And if I put a dimensional tank in here, you'll find it in here. So pretty simple on the surface. What's really cool about these though is the frequency. So similar to maybe the Ender Chest mod, which you might have seen before, where you would want maybe multiple networks of dimensional storage, you can use the frequency to create that. So let's call this one 2 instead of 1. And then if you hit change, there you go. The frequency needs to literally change when you hit change. Made that mistake a couple times now. The dimensional tank lives in frequency 1. That is the chest you originally put it in. So when I went ahead and I changed it to frequency 2, it's like, no, I recognize the dimensional tank was originally put in the frequency 1 chest, so I'm just going to move it for you. Please and thank you. So I'm going to do the same thing here. This is now in frequency 2. If I change it to frequency 1 and hit change, there you go. So, and oops. Don't do what I just did, because apparently that might be a bug. That was frequency 1. I guess since it had nowhere to go. So if I do frequency 2 and hit change, okay, it is back. Ha! So you can put things in frequencies that don't even exist. This is a hack I was not intending to show today. Apparently, you can just hide items from people. If putting it under your own name wasn't enough for some reason, you can make a frequency 84 and then just put a bunch of stuff in it and never have another chest. Just hide stuff from yourself, I guess. Be careful. That could get confusing. So that is how the owner and frequency commands work. You can also lock this if you want. I'm not sure why you would want to do that. Perhaps if it was public, but you wanted to sometimes occasionally lock it. I'm going to show you what this idle thing does here in a little bit. But first, we got to show you the dimensional tanks, which one would assume is the same thing, but with tanks. So I have a bucket of lava here. We can go ahead and put it in the dimensional tank, and since they're on the same frequency and set to public, this is lava anyone on the server could access, but I'll change it to myself, and I'll set it to frequency... here, let's see. Let's set this to frequency 2 and hit change. And now the lava is sitting safely in the frequency 1 tank, and there's nothing in the frequency 2 tank. So if you accidentally put something in one of the tanks and need to quickly empty it, that could be a fun little trick for you as well. This also has the same idle button here as the chest does. So let me show you what that does real quick. So this is a dimensional chest I set up a little while ago before I started recording, and you'll notice the top is red. That's simply because I set it to locked. I was just playing with that. It's blue again, and it's on frequency 1. So I have a botany pot here growing potatoes, and let me show you what happens. So we have 20 potatoes in the chest right here. If you open up the dimensional chest and change this from idle to collecting, all the potatoes just transferred into the dimensional chest. Now, what does that mean? What did that do? Basically, if you hover over collecting, when you are on collecting, it means that the dim chest collects all the items in the inventories in a 3x3 area, which is in range of this chest. So if we put the chest out here on this tile, it would not work. But we have potatoes growing, and if you want a setup like this, where you're just automating some farming and you want it all to go into one big dimensional chest network, you can do that really easily. This is a really cool feature of this mod that, if I recall, the Ender chests just did not have. So I actually really appreciate that, because this collecting tool can be very powerful for automation. So I just wanted to show that off real quick. I almost forgot about the dimensional tablet here, which is a very powerful item considering just how cheap it is to craft. You'd actually get this pretty early on using the mod if you wanted to. And it's really simple. If you right click, it says dimensional tablet not connected to any dim chest. All you have to do is shift right click to a dimensional chest, right click the tablet, and now our potatoes are showing up here in the tablet, and we can actually take them out, put them in our inventory, whatever we want to do. And if we check this out, if you just hover your cursor over it, it says press shift right click on a non-dim chest block to enable/disable auto collect, which is also very powerful. If we hold shift for details, we can see the frequency it's mapped to and also the owner here. Currently, it is not collecting. So this thing, if you don't have a storage system that offers wireless storage options, but you have dim chests installed, this is going to be your best friend. Of course, it wouldn't be a dimensional chest mod spotlight if I didn't show you the dimensional chest in another dimension. So this is just a public chest I've just placed down, and if I set the owner to me, on frequency 1, we find our potatoes nice and handy here in the nether. So the same thing will be with the tanks. You can use these across dimensions. I never showed you how to craft these, actually. If you hover over and hit R, it's all its own materials. So they've made special materials for these, but they're not as intimidating as they look. Dimensional walls are ender pearls, redstone, and iron. And then, of course, dimensional cores are diamonds, redstone, and iron. And then you have the solid dimensional core, which is just the core with iron around it. So it costs a little bit of iron and ender pearls and things like that. It's not something you can get super early game. Dimensional tanks, similar recipe with glass and a cauldron in there, and this is just the default recipe. So if you wanted to, I would say if you're making a mod pack, to change the recipe for the dimensional core if you'd like to make this harder to get into, because this is just one item you have to edit rather than a whole bunch of different things. You could also change the recipe, I guess, for dimensional walls if you feel like these are too cheap. You get 4 every time you do this one recipe. So yeah, if you wanted to make it a little more expensive for your mod pack, that is totally doable. But there you go. That is dimensional chests. I hope you did enjoy this, and if you did, I hope you'll hit subscribe and like and come back for more 116 mod spotlights very soon. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you later.